Our present mayor, who is horrible.
Is horrible?
He's horrible.
Eric Adams?
Horrible. I didn't even vote for him. I voted for the socialist candidate.
Like
I voted for the socialist candidate. I'm not a socialist. I don't remember her name. I wouldn't recognize her in a crowd of one. But I I did not want to be 1 billionth responsible for Eric Adams. Not a billionth responsible.
What is so horrible about Eric Adams?
He is a crook.
A crook?
Well, let's put it this way. You may or may not notice, you don't live in New York.
I don't.
But 7 times a day he changes his clothes. He wears...
Why does that make him a crook?
He has his clothes made. The mayor doesn't make enough money to buy those clothes. I'd like to know where. He's been in public service his whole life, okay? He's been in public service his whole life. He shouldn't be able to buy those clothes.
I find that to be preposterous. First of all, public servants sometimes make a very nice salary.
Not if you live in New York, and he doesn't. I mean, now he lives in Gracie Mansion, but he doesn't.
Well, he's from Brooklyn.
Yes, Brooklyn's pretty expensive.
Okay, but
if you live there, which he doesn't.
But I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. And he was something of a celebrity in town. I mean, to run for mayor, he was the borough president or something.
He was a borough president.
Okay,
but he won the same reason Trump won. Here's what happens. When the parties control the primaries and stuff. The parties should not allow there to be 20 candidates in a primary. Because if there's 20 candidates, the loudmouth always wins. That's how Trump won. There were 20 candidates in that Republican primary. Totally. He's Trumpy. He's very Trumpy.
Well, let's get back to he's a criminal because he's got 7 nice suits.
No, he's 100 suits.
He's Denzel in Training Day, and he's going to stick up Scott Glenn and take the money under the floorboards. That's where the money came from.
I don't know where the money came from. They might have given the clothes, but you're not allowed to do. You cannot take these things if you're the mayor.
Of all the problems in the world, this is what obsesses you. You don't think that this...
Because I mentioned something doesn't mean I'm obsessed by it.
Okay.
I was giving you an example I thought you would understand. The clothes are an example of the money. I don't like him.
But
all right? I don't like him.
Okay, just say that. Yes.
I did say that.
Okay.
I didn't vote for him. I don't like him. And the restaurants in the streets, which were supposed to come down when you didn't have to eat in the street, he announced they're permanent. My thinking is permanent. You know what's not permanent? You. Nothing's permanent. So the restaurants are in the street. I object to this now. When you had to eat outside, fine. This is a takeover of private ownership of public property. They don't own the streets. They put the restaurants in the streets. There are restaurants that have 100 seats outside, without paying for the space, which in New York, that's what you're paying for all the time. But also, he keeps announcing, like we didn't know, there is an unusually high rat problem in New York now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's always rats, but now...
Isn't there a guy who volunteered to be his rat czar?
Yeah, there's someone who's now...
Curtis Sliwa.
No.
Yes, he volunteered to be...
He may have volunteered, but he didn't get the gig.
Really?
The gig was given to this woman whose last name is Tish. She's married, I guess, to one of the Tishes or a big real estate family in New York.
Yeah, Tish, sure.
So they have... and there's like, we don't know why there's all these rats. And I thought, really? I mean, my belief is that the rats in New York are calling rats all over the country, saying, you can't believe what's going on here. They bring you the food. They tell you the specials. I mean, there's restaurants in the street. That's why there's rats there.
But see, that's why I never really warmed up to New York. I mean, I have a certain love for it because it's where I grew up near and then lived twice and many friends and the sensibility of New York, the New York media market, the sports teams, the TV stations, the newspaper that was in our house, all that stuff. But actually living there, I thought sucked. I mean, just the living in a building, maybe insects in it,
No, maybe. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to live in New York. You can live where you want. I like to live in New York. I love New York.
I know.
And I a couple times have rented houses in the country because of construction in my apartment or whatever. And I was always terrified. I was completely terrified living in the country. And people would say, you live in this lovely, I once rented a little cottage on a farm outside of Princeton, New Jersey. I was in a total panic the whole time, every night. And people would say, why? I would say, here's the really bad thing about living on a farm. There are no doormen,
Hey, thanks for watching the clip. Hit the subscribe button now so you never miss out on our Club Random content that's posted daily.